In 1979, Ford released a 5-liter Mustang, dubbed the 5.0, which continues to leave its impact on the automotive world to this day. Now fast forward to 2011 with the release of the new 5.0, also known as the Coyote. The Mustang had big body gaps to fill, and the engineers at Ford knew exactly what they were doing. By giving the Mustang over 400 horsepower, basically Corvette levels of power, with a live rear axle, in other words the equivalent to a horse and buggy suspension, the new 5.0 lived up to its name. The Coyote is such a success, it's still in production today, and even though the early Coyote-powered cars are dated at this point, like everything in this market, they're still pretty costly. Except this one. Listed in the as-is sale at a nearby auction, the interior looks like it was inhabited by a Puma that hated its shaker stereo, since most of the center stack is just missing, and the outside looks like it got into a minor cars and coffee drift competition with its smashed fender. But these are the least of our concerns. We know that the stock takeoff parts are cheap on these cars. What we should be mostly concerned about is its 160,000 mile drivetrain. As is means that this car is mine no matter what issues it comes with, but at a price of just $7,800, this is a great gamble worth taking. I mean, how bad could it be? Sure, the mileage is pretty high, but the last time I dabbled in one of these as-is sales, we scored a C6 Corvette with over 250,000 miles that was mechanically near perfect. All it took was a few cosmetic parts and a little elbow grease to take its dulled old appearance and make it look 10 years younger. We transformed the Corvette on a super budget, and I'm betting we can do the same with this Mustang GT. Now, just based on the pictures alone, we're going to need a lot of parts here, but since there are aftermarket parts designed for nearly every square inch of every modern Mustang, there are a ton of deals to be found in local and online marketplaces. And to assure we're getting the best deal on everything, I use this free shopping assistant called Honey, which is clutch and has already found me a discount on some big brakes for our Mustang. So when this car was new, there was a $1,700 option for a 4-piston Brembo brake setup. Now, a decade later, these brake calipers are available as a remanufactured part from a lot of auto parts stores for just $85 a caliper. We definitely want these for our Mustang build, so I'll add both sides to the cart. When I get to the checkout, the dancing coin guy gets this project started by applying the internet's best promo codes in just a few seconds, and like that, I just saved $17 without any added legwork. Honey is totally free and isn't just for car parts, and it very well could work on a lot of sites you're already shopping at. I encourage you to try it when ordering takeout. Hopefully, we'll leave you with not only a full stomach, but also a full wallet. In today's world, a little bit of savings can go a very long way, and I know that firsthand because everyone that has got Honey from the link down in my description box have collectively found over $1.8 million in savings. That's almost enough money to buy 1,800 of these K cars. It's insane to think about. I truly love it and use it on a weekly basis. Go ahead and click that link down in the description or visit joinhoney.com/samcrack to start saving today. All right, fresh off the truck this morning, just delivered a few hours ago, our 2012 Mustang GT. This has to be one of the cheapest Coyotes in this market. Supposedly runs and drives. I don't know anything about it. I haven't started it. The transporter left it right here in this spot, and the fact that it's actually backed into a parking spot tells me it probably does actually run and drive. They gave me this key here, and this is a premium trim Mustang, which did not come with these keys. This very well might have been a repo car, and they just went and made a key. This is an easy key for a locksmith to make, but that's not our major concern here. We want to know how good this thing runs and how much reconditioning it's going to need. Now, it looks pretty darn good. Definitely has had quite a bit of paint work that I can see in person, but it's not a big deal when you got stuff like this, and we're going to need to add a little bit of extra paint work to it. So our fender damage is just like it looked in the photos. It has a wrapped roof, or this looks like it might have been painted, or yeah, that looks like paint actually. We got the louvers on the side. Those are not factory, and someone did a at-home rattle can job with those. Not a big deal again. Wheels, they're all right. We could definitely do better, but the name of this game is budget. How cheap can we get a nice Coyote Mustang, or how expensive a cheap Coyote Mustang will end up being? Let's check out the inside real quick. We've got exactly, again, what we saw from the auction photos. Not too bad, actually. The dash is all intact, except for obviously the radio portion. What happens on these cars is that they make some aftermarket big screen stereo units. So obviously somebody had one in there. They pull it out before the car ended up showing up at the auction. We've got the tattered driver's seat. Same thing here. All this stuff is cheap, easy to fix on these cars. The big question is, how good does our Coyote engine run? How good does that manual transmission shift? Again, not a big deal. Ignore that. Let's get in. Let's check it out. I'm excited to drive this car because I love these. I used to have one, and they are a ton of fun. Foot on the clutch, key in the ignition. We're dead. All right, before we power this thing up, we have a genuine Cervini hood. These things are like $700, $800, $900 depending on the style you get. We already knew we had an aftermarket hood, but one other thing that I am noticing in person is that the stance of this car is a bit lower than it would be stock. These cars come really high from the factory, and so let's hope they upgraded the shocks and the springs, but looking at that, we probably just have a spring upgrade. All right, let's go ahead, send power to her. Please, no knock. All right, we've got power. Cranks right over. That's not stock either. It sounds pretty good though. I say that now, let's take it for a ride and see how noisy and drony it is on the road, but so far, not bad. Wow! No clutch slipping or anything in first gear. Listen to that. $7,800. Come on. You can't even buy a 4.6 boat anchor for that sort of money. Engine feels great. Wow. Incredible. Brakes. A little shaky. We could use a brake upgrade for sure. I made it about 3 miles in this car. I had to pull over because I'm hearing some funny noises, but it hasn't overheated. It's staying dead in the center, which is really good. Funny noise I am hearing is like a clunk, like something's hanging low on the car and it's dragging when I go over certain types of pavement. Oh, right there. The exhaust pipes are hanging a bit. Jeez. Well, not a big deal. Hopefully we can make it home. There is one other issue I have found, and I'll demonstrate that in just a moment when we get going at a little bit of speed, and unfortunately, it's probably the reason why our Mustang was so cheap. Second gear, third gear, I'm gonna skip fourth. Let me show you what happens when I go to fifth. You hear that? We don't have a fifth gear. Fourth, no problems. Oh, when it warms up. Oh, no, there is no fifth gear. There's sixth. There is a sixth. It exists. It doesn't like sixth, but fifth doesn't even exist. We'll add a new ventilation canister to the list of things that this Mustang needs. For all the people that wanted us to get a lift, I got a new jack. It's really nice. You hear it doesn't squeak anymore. And it goes another inch higher. At first glance underneath the Mustang, considering the age, considering the miles, everything is really nice. This is a testament as to why you should buy Florida cars. No leaks. Would you believe no leaks under here? I saw one weep in the back differential area. That's just a diff cover gasket. The suspension arms look nice. Tie rods, steering rack, boots, all that. Everything's intact. No plate here. No major play on this side. Just check out the tire tread. It's in really nice shape all around. It's clear that somebody spent a lot of money mechanically maintaining this Coyote well. And it's similar to our Corvette. Yes, it looks a little bit ratty, but I think mechanically it's really solid. Obviously, in the case of this car, the transmission is our weak point, but that's a weak point on 100% of any Coyote Mustang. So we're gonna get under there now, check out how hard it is to pull, and we might as well just start getting it out. Man, if you look under here, it actually looks pretty straightforward. Our transmission has a ton of space in between everything here. The only things I see in the way are our exhaust pipes, which we're going to unclamp from here. We'll just remove the entire exhaust, and I think at one point we'll probably get a new one because this one looks like it's just been kind of hacked apart. It's damaged in the back as well. And then we've got this cross member here, but before we take that out, the drive shaft bolts up to the back of the transmission with what looks like about 4 bolts. So, bunch of those bell housing bolts, and this thing should just pop out. Yeah, it sounds easy enough for me to say that. Sage, you get to work now. You do this. Okay?
Oh yeah, I'm excited.
So our dilemma is that whoever put this exhaust back at one time, and this looks like a hodgepodge between like a factory exhaust and a muffler shop exhaust. There's no mufflers in the back, and there's a bunch of weld marks that look factory like this. There's some not so factory looking ones in the back. So they put this clamp, get the bolt to get to the clamp. It's all the way up against the frame. Whereas this one down here, we already have off. It was sitting like this, a normal way. So that gives us a little bit more room, but not a lot, to try and get like a flexible head wrench up there and try and pull it off. See it?
Yeah, I felt it.
Yeah, there you go. I'm getting good with that tool. Sage, I don't want to talk too much when I'm talking about cutting tools. Jeez Louise. Getting a little too excited. All it takes is one little mess up.
Not today, though.
Wow. The day's not over with yet. Okay. Is that good enough? Come on. All right. That exhaust has clearly been repaired multiple times, and I think we finally just put an end to it. I'm sorry. All right, we better start preparing to get this transmission out. I think there's a... What are you doing, Mike?
What, you want this transmission out?
You did it already?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, what did you... I literally jacked the car up, and you pulled the... It was that easy?
That easy.
Do you think we could be a little bit more cramped in this place?
That's why I don't understand why there's no lift yet. You know? Coming? Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh, go up, go up, go up, go up. It's still hanging onto the transmission.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Not too bad, right? Our busted transmission is easily the Achilles heel of this entire project. This thing could make or break our entire budget here. Now there's quite a few different ways to repair this or to replace it. There's different units that swap directly into this car, but every single option I'm finding starts at around $2,000 and goes significantly higher from there. That's not all bad news, because with this out of the car, whatever solution we come up with, we're going to be able to do things like upgrade our clutch in the meantime and our shifter, which are both known to be factory weak points, especially on the first generation MT82. But let's give credit where credit is due. This transmission is likely the original one that came out of the car, and it's got over 160,000 miles on it, and fifth gear is gone. It's not like someone bang shifted it first to second or second to third. Those gears feel totally fine. So this does pose a bit of a budgetary challenge, but let me know what you guys think in the comments. Would you rebuild this? Would you replace it, or would you go with a completely different transmission? What makes the most sense for our budget Mustang build? Now check this out. We've already sanded down the entire surface of our Mustang as we prepare for some fresh paint and a new paint job. Make sure right now that you're subscribed to the channel so you don't miss any updates to our Mustang project as we post them. And I plan on posting them pretty quick, because the beauty of a car like this is that the parts are readily available. They're not stupid expensive like an Italian pony car, and I don't have to clinch tight when I'm buying them. When I say clinch tight, I mean my wallet. I'm clenching my wallet tight because you could actually buy these parts. We could transform the entire look of the front end of this car for what it might cost for one silly little part on a Ferrari. And I just love this generation of Mustang because it has a crazy level of unrefinement compared to the newer ones with the independent rear suspension. Yes, it does not handle as well. The interior's not as nice. It's not as good of a car as the newer ones, but it is just as fun, if not more. And that's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. If you're not already following me on Instagram, where I've posted some pictures of the new Italian pony car coming to the channel after the Mustang, well, go ahead. You can find me right here. Just click the link down in the description, guys. I can't thank each and every one of you enough for watching today, and I'll catch you very soon.